Wowza! Hello, everybody. I'm
Hi,
John Zidar. That's Taylor behind the screen there. Hello,
I'm
Taylor.
here.
Just
Oh,
to let
crap.
everybody know, Taylor's not feeling perfectly well. So if she disappears, it's because she needed the bathroom. She needs to take care of something, but we'll just roll on until she gets back. But she says she's feeling okay right
I'm
now.
okay for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know, if she disappears, she didn't abandon us.
Right.
Glad to have you here, folks. Well, this is a hour, maybe an hour and a half show where we're going to look at stocks that have come from investors like y'all. Now, the thing is, I see we have got a lot of requests coming in, and I did say this in the videos for those of you watching my videos. If you put your request in when the show starts, most likely I'll never get even close to it. We have got quite a lot of tickers that have come in here that I'm not going to be able to get to, and it is nothing personal. I go on a first come, first serve basis, and I put up a placeholder for this for a lot of reasons at about lunchtime, even earlier, and people put in their tickers then. So by the time 4 o'clock rolls around, I've already got 8 to 10 tickers lined up, and I don't know if I can even get through 10. I think the most we've ever done is 8 tickers, which was,
I think you're right.
yeah, it was over an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So we will jump into as many as we can do. I see a lot of same tickers. Thank God for that. And I see a lot of same faces here. Mark Ryan. Hello, Mark. Emer is here again. T. Rick. Hey, T. Good to see you here, buddy. LT. Taylor, that's you. I
That's
recognize
me.
your handwriting. 3, 2, 1 to the moon. Hello. We got your ZVSA. Ravi, we got one of yours, buddy. Toner. I would like to talk about SMX. I know they had news today. Can't remember exactly what it was, but I did post it on Twitter. Roy, I'm going to squeeze you in, buddy. I know you brought up Lou 3 times now. I think it's been 3 weeks you have asked us, and you've told us it's not a penny stock, and I keep telling you it's not a penny stock. It's not even close. So we're not going to look at it. I'm going to have, I don't know if you wanted the information, but it sounds like you really want some chart. We were looking at the chart, me and Taylor, and I'm going to have Taylor look at the chart for you about halfway through the show. So
Yep.
I'm going to give you Lou and some charting. Okay.
Yep.
Belmore, I don't know if we're going to get to you, love. Elra, ELRA. Yeah, they just did a joint venture, is it? And they're opening up an online casino, I think. But I don't think we're going to be able to get to you today. Kashira, I'm not used to seeing you way back here at the end of the line. Good to see you. UBQU, no, we're not going to get to it. And I've got to wonder why you want to see it. Me and Taylor were looking at that chart. What is up with that chart? You know, it's one of those barcodes going across in 000 land, but it's at 0001 and under.
Right.
Its barcode is
It's impossible to trade
in
it.
the open market, now to the open market, in the open market, now to the open market. And it's been doing that for over a year. But I
Right.
did see the news. They've got a deal going on with a health clinic right now that they are piloting. It's a merger of some sort. So at least they've got some catalyst going on. So there are a lot of tickers here I would like to talk about. IVDA came in from the underdog a little late, buddy. We're not going to get to that either. I'm sorry. Hey, you don't have to leave. John, glad to have you here. John Smithwick, HNRC. People still want to talk about that stock? Oil company that gave us dividends over a year ago for WDHI, and they're still not active because they still don't have WDHI on the market. I don't know what else is going on with HNRC. I know Cunningham and all that stuff, but we're not going to get to that either. But we do have a bunch of them lined up here, folks. And the very first one we're going to take a look at actually was given to me, talk about early in the queue, 5 days ago. 2 days after I did my live stream, somebody on Google, I think it was, I can't remember who, I apologize, wanted me to take a look at, not Toner.
Yeah, that one.
That one, TPET, Trio
Let me change
Petroleum
this.
Corporation, ticker
There we go.
TET. Oh, thank you very much.
Yep.
I was there. I see we're there now. Oh, you got our new setup. So I'm
Yep.
wee small down in the corner now. Way down here. Okay.
They can see the information better.
Yeah, we got a bigger window. So this is a penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. We don't get a lot of those. She is at just under 10 cents right now, 9.6 cents. She has fallen just under 7%. Let's see what we have got here. First thing we want to know is, what is this company about? That will tell us. Obviously, they are in petroleum. Now, we've got a couple companies here: petroleum, gas, and oil, some mining companies. There's a lot of information that goes along with these companies because they normally have lots of properties, and each property has sizes and depth and how many barrels and how many tons. We can't go through all that information, folks. So we're going to try to get as much as we can with the time we have, okay? So the petroleum company here, they have got, I think it's three. Did I bring it up? Yes. I was trying to figure out how many pieces of property the company has, so we at least know that. They have McCool Ranch oil field, Asphalt Ridge, and they have one in California, South Salinas Project oil rights. Those are their three properties. They tell us here that Trio Petroleum is a California-based company that had its IPO on the New York Stock Exchange April of 2023. So they've only been around for about a year now. Our core asset is the South Salinas Project in Monterey County, California. They tell us up here that that project is estimated to have about 131 million barrels of oil and 189 billion cubic feet of gas, which equates out to 163 million barrels of oil. Now, what this company is doing with all of these properties is refurbishing them. That seems to be the big deal right now, getting onto existing oil fields and getting more oil out of them with the new technologies that we have. And that's what this company is doing. They also tell us they plan to acquire additional assets and to grow profitable exploration production company, which was what everybody's always doing. So let's see what other information I've got here for us. Let's start with the general information first. That's just easier. Relative volume for the company. Wow. She took a big drop today. Her average on a daily basis, they tell us, is 3.3 million. Today, she was just over a half a million at 600,000. That's a big drop. Share structure for TPET, not bad. 31 million, 32 million outstanding. No clue what the float is. The worst it's going to be is 32 million. And the best, well, it can be considerably less than that. So we don't know what that is, but it won't be any worse than 32. Market cap, that is at 3.2 million. Financials for the company, nothing on the annual, nothing on the quarterly. So they're not bringing in any money right now. Cash, they got money in the bank so they can pay themselves, 1.5 million. Total assets, 11.5 million. Oh, their liabilities are way down there. That's surprising. Just under 2 million. So this company, even though they're not making any revenues, has got assets, stockholder equity for the investors of 9.7 million. That's not a bad oil company to be considering it, even if they're not making revenues. Disclosures. This is 2024. We got a Form 4 here. These are filed when insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock, and they can do that in a lot of various ways. As investors, we're most interested when they buy them or sell them. And you know when they've done that. Up here will be who bought them or sold them or whatever. Over here is who they are in the company. This is a director. And right there in the center is what's going on. The S is the code for sell. The P is for purchase. Any other letter is something else, and I really don't care about something else. This is a sell. So we had a director sell 60,000 shares at 13 cents. I don't know. How many shares did he have? Well, he's got 100,000 shares now. So he sold about 1/3 of his shares. I don't think he's paying bills with that, but that's not a lot of money, is it? That's not a lot of shares. Let's see what else we got here. An effect. Effect normally means they put, this is a real short form, S1s. Funny, I just learned the other day, people get excited about these S1s. And an S1 is filed whenever they want to create an incentive package for employees or insiders. It's all about them. It's about giving them shares. That's what S1s are about. What else we got over here? Disclosures. All right, we've got something I found. We got that one already. That one. News. All right, this news came out January 5th. Trio Petroleum announces an option to acquire 20% interest in the Asphalt Ridge development. We were just reading that they have that Asphalt Ridge property. Their resources is 42 to 92 million barrels of oil. That's what they're expecting they can get. Development of this potential giant oil field is commencing January. So it should have already been happening right now. There should be some updates out there soon. Development of Asphalt Ridge is planned to commence Q1 2024 by a third-party operator using advanced cyclic steam production techniques. As I said, there's lots of different techniques now. The project leasehold comprises over 30,000 acres. So that gives you an idea. There's a lot more information here, folks, like I said, but we can't go through it all. And then another piece of news here, the Trio Petroleum Corp announces the restart of the McCool Ranch oil field. Oil field fully permitted to restart production from 6 previously producing wells. San Arter water disposal well successfully refurbished, and testing and repairs on-site facilities in progress. So they've got things going on now. So I don't know how soon revenues are going to come, but at least they're moving forward. The company announced its acquisition of approximately 22% working interest in McCool Ranch. Oil production from the 6 wells collectively peaked at about 400 barrels per day before the wells were idled back in 2015 due to the oil prices dropping. So you can see they've got lots of properties. They are making progress with multiple properties right now, but they're not making any revenues. But they do have stockholder equity. They've got that. So we're not holding a bag here, which is real important. So the only thing we got left to look at is Taylor's department. Let's take a look at that chart, Taylor.
Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is the 4-hour chart starting November 2023, so just last year. We had this like nice little channel, and it was trading in it, and even tried to come back up right at the 200. This is really interesting. But once we lost that, you can see what happened. We tried to come up one time into that area, but you can see it did not hold at all. This is a 4-hour candle. So it came right back down, came right around that 200. And after that, as you can see, we have just been on a serious downtrend.
I don't see any hope there. None.
Nope. The floor actually happened today. Now, the floor meaning the floor, the recent floor, because this was a floor, this was a floor, this was a floor.
Yep.
Now we got a new one here. And
all-time low.
About 9.5 cents, and we're right now trading right below 10 cents still. So
what was her high a year ago?
Exactly a year ago. I'm not sure.
No, I'm just saying, roughly.
So let's see. Last year, this was July of 2023. We were up here in the $1 range. This is May 2023, and we have not had any stock splits. So this hasn't actually been around a whole year. This was April 2023 when it came on.
That's right.
So even just a couple months afterwards, we were at like almost $2. And there has been no stock splits, no reverse splits, none of that. So you can see what has been happening. If we get a little bit of volume, we come up, but it is just a serious downtrend. And we're below 10 cents now. So not too good. Not sure what the IPO price was. It IPO'd, it looks like at $2.45, and now we're at below 10 cents. So
yeah, with low bubbles every single day, there's nothing special about a low bubble until something bounces off of it. Once it bounces, that bubble becomes special. And that's what we're waiting for now. A bounce off of a low bubble. And I mean a bounce through a strong SMA. So right now, she looks bleak. If you're invested in it, I mean, obviously, she's so low, I don't know where you got in, but this would be a good time to average down. Not everything. I don't know how much you want, but, she is falling. She could go lower, but she could bounce. So I would keep my eye on it, because if she starts to bounce, she's probably going to climb, because she does have value. She's got stockholder equity. She's not making revenues. And the first time she puts revenues on the books, that could be the bottom. That could be when this thing starts to climb and changes trend completely. So this is looking tempting as an average down if you're in it. If you're waiting to enter, I'd be waiting. I'd be waiting
Yeah.
for that bounce.
Early this month, there must have been news or something. Sorry, I've been kind of sick, so I didn't really hear everything you said. But it first week of February, we must have had some news because we got this huge spike in volume, and it came all the way up to the 32-cent range. Now we're at
Whoa.
below 10 cents. So that was February 1st. That's when that happened. But ever since then, you can see what's been going on. I mean, we hit like 15 and we hit 11. Now we're below 10. I mean, this is just not good. Look at all these 250, 21, 9. I mean, we're way below that. That's on the 4-hour chart. So,
Yeah,
and
I don't see
yeah.
anything on February 1st or
Oh,
just
okay.
well, you had that S1. The S1 came out on the
Okay.
29th, which isn't really good news. It says that they're opening up stock options for the insiders, for
Okay.
employees.
Because that's the day that it came back up into the shaded area that I had where it was kind of hanging out for
Makes no
like the
sense.
last few months of 2023. And now
I
it just completely fell. But if it were to come back up there, hypothetically, it'd be over 300% gains. But you know,
I'm looking at that 200. That 200 hasn't shown an
yeah,
inkling of changing direction to go up.
yeah. Look at this. Look at the trajectory of this. Just
That's a ski slope still. There's no parking lot in view.
none. Yeah, yeah.
And
Don't
I'm
love
looking
it.
for a parking lot. That's when you get a breakout. So this is still falling, folks. So if
Right.
you're watching it, it could be a very long movie.
Okay. Next.
Okay. That's great. All right. We are now taking a look at UREKF, Eureka Lithium Corporation. This is a mining company. We got two mining companies here, both from Canada, that we're going to take a look at, Eureka and Surge Battery Metals, back to back. They both came from the same person. Can't remember who that was. I don't see it on my screen yet. So Eureka finished today at 23 cents. She was down just a smidge. I mean, just about 10% or
It was from Mark Ryan.
0.1%. Marky, hello.
Mhm.
This is on the middle tier, the OTC. This is the better tier because you get validated information. Pinks don't give you any validated information. That's why I tell you to look for the verified profile and the transfer agent. That's the only validated information you get with a pink. QB, you get financials validated. You got to get a CPA in there. Oh, you thought the pinks were no. Pink's financials are not validated numbers. Those are just numbers the management's passing off to us. There's no accounting done with them, so it's really tough to make any sense of them. Here, we got fundamentals. We can weigh the company up. So they've got those verified profile and transfer agent, independent directors listed. Those are necessary if you're going to uplist, and you list them here when you have plans on uplisting. That's always good to see. So they tell us here that Eureka Lithium is a junior mining company engaged in the acquisition, exploration, and development of mineral properties. The company recently completed the acquisition of a large-scale land package prospective for spodumene-bearing lithium pegamites. They look like big pieces of onyx, big white rocks. That's where they're finding their lithium in. There's different places. You can get it out of the water where it's just dissolved like salt, or it can be in a big crystal form inside of a rock. The company is also focused on the McKinney property located in Asus Mining Division of British Columbia. This is a Canadian company. Let's check out her relative volume. Another big drop, going from 32,000 shares a day down to 6,500 shares today. Ow. Share structure for the company. Not bad. 51 million, 52. Insiders own about 9 million of them. That gives us a float of roughly 42 million if these numbers are correct. Market cap, we're at roughly 12 million. I don't think this company's making any money. The problem with most of these lithium mine companies is that whether they be in Canada or America, they just haven't got the go-ahead to start mining yet. So they just keep exploring, doing more drilling, buying more property. They just keep getting into a better position for when they get the green go-ahead. What's holding it up? Well, here in the States, it's being held up by us, people. We're crying about the land. We're crying about the water, all the conservative stuff. Then you've got the government itself. You've got many different jurisdictions over that same plot of land. One group says yes, another group says no. So until they can all agree, we're not getting anywhere. We need the lithium now. There's lots of potential to get it, and we're not moving. This is stupid. We've been waiting a long time to get going on this. So we've got no revenues here, annually or quarterly. Looking at the quarterly balance sheet, which is the one I prefer to look at rather than the annual, get as close to the money as you can. Cash in the bank, we got about 1.3 million. Total assets is at 6.6 million. Woohoo! Look at those liabilities. $380,000. That's it. So we got equity in this company too. We got $6.2 million. Good. I like to see that. I prefer a company that's making revenues, but if they're not making revenues, at least have equity. Don't be in the debt up to your knees. We've got no filings over here, and we are caught up. I got one piece of information over here. All right, news. So we got two pieces of news here we're looking at. One from December and one from January. Eureka Lithium Corps signs letter of intent to option drill ready and permitted lithium properties near Val d'Or, Quebec. Permitted. That's a piece of news we should be jumping into there. Is permission meaning they can literally get in there and start mining? That's when you start making money. As soon as the company starts making money, it's going to be a completely different game for this company. I assure you that. Eureka Lithium continues due diligence on the Lac La Motte Lithium Project, Val d'Or PQ. So they're still doing more exploration, more acquisitions, all that good stuff. I do believe that covers pretty much everything here, right? Yes, it does. So that'd be the layout for Eureka F. Now we just need to see the chart.
Okay. So I've got this on the 4 hour. This has not been around for very long. It came on July of 2023. So that's why we don't have a 200. This is the 4 hour.
Okay.
One thing that stands out to me is, does anyone recognize, I'll draw it again. Whoops. This pattern here.
No, I don't.
That's the inverse cup and handle.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah. So this is the bearish pattern. Now I'm not saying this is absolutely certain. So I have a couple levels here. This is the bottom of this, and the top of this, the handle here. So we can either come up and reclaim this, or we can go below this.
Well, if it's the reverse cup and handle, I would expect it to fall now, because you would expect a surge on a regular one.
Right. So this is the opposite of a regular cup and handle, inverse cup and handle. That's a bearish pattern. It's usually not what we want to see here, but it doesn't necessarily. I've seen all kinds of patterns go the opposite direction. So this is just
absolutely
give you an idea. So I like this level here. This it's about 33 cents. So we're going to have to reclaim this, I would think, to in order to bring this back the other way. But this is not looking that great to me. I think we're going to see more downside. I mean, it tried to come through a couple times. So watch out for that, like 21, 22 area, which we're very, very close to. We're about 23 cents right now. So look out for that, because if we go below that, I mean, we did hit a low of 15 cents. That was its all-time low. That was this month. That was in February 6th. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, if it does reclaim this, then we have a chance to reverse. But as of now, this is looking very bearish.
You give us a quick 15-minute glance. I see she's got a bounce going on there.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just the overall for the 4 hour. But see, this little bounce is probably what you're looking at. You're talking about. So this did hit this bottom at like 21, 22 cents. Now we're at like 23 cents. So it could be coming up here. But if you look, this is on the 15-minute. This is lower highs, lower highs, lower highs.
But I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't really love that. But like
all
I said,
the SMAs are on top of her head, pushing her down while she's in a downtrend.
Yeah, the 4 hour is not looking that great to me personally. But if this is something you're interested in with the news or anything, you can definitely keep this on your watch list and watch for those two levels.
Yeah, watch it, because she's got catalyst now. It looks like something about permitting one of the mines.
Mhm.
They are making progress. And as soon as they start making money, I mean, if they get permission to start mining, that's a game changer because there are so
Yeah.
many lithium mines that don't have permission. In the United States, I don't know how many lithium mines we have. There's a bunch of them, but only one, ticker ALB, is in operation, and they've been in operation virtually for 100 years, and they have no competition right now, and they are by no means producing all the lithium we need. No way. So this is a good one, especially if they can start making money before anybody else.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's just waiting game.
Yeah. Oh, that's about it for that one. Next.
Next is Surge Battery Metals, ticker NILIF. This too is a Canadian company. However, their property is in the United States. The last ones were in Quebec. This is in Nevada, the North Lithium Project. They've got a lot of information here. We've looked at this quite a few times. I think I've looked at it 3 times. I've done videos on it. This is approximately 15,000 football fields big, if that makes any sense to you there, if that makes it easier. And they've got a lot of information here about all the drill holes and all the stuff that they're doing while they're waiting to get permission to start going forward. And I don't know what the holdup is outside of the generalities I've already told you about. So what was the relative volume around NILIF? A little bit of a drop. She's under the radar. First off, she did about 39 cents today, and she is on the best tier, which is not to be overlooked, folks. There's a lot of BS on the OTC, and most of it happens on the pink. There is some on the QB, but this is the echelon. This is the better neighborhood of the OTC. The QX is as close as you get to the major exchange by filings. They are using 10Ks and 10Qs. They're giving us the 8Ks. They're giving us the 426s. They're giving us all the filings as if they were on the major exchange. That is what you want. It makes them trustworthy. It makes them transparent. So this is a great place for a company to be. That is the first thing going for it. Then you've got all these green ticks. Everything's looking good over there. So, and they were up. How about that? For a lithium company, they were up almost 5% today. But their volume dropped and still went up, down to 132,000 from 147,000. Share structure, kind of high. We got 161 million here outstanding. And the insiders don't own very many. This is the cheap stock, folks, and I'm sure it was cheaper. We're at 38 cents right now, and all the insiders own is 3.8 million shares. It's not a lot. We get all the rest, 157 million. Market cap isn't bad. We're at 58 million. For a penny stock, that's not bad. Financials, nada. We're not going to have anything on the annuals. We're not going to have anything on the quarterlies because they don't have permission to mine yet. Cash in the bank, they've got 4.2 million. Good. Assets, 11.8. Look at the liabilities. I'm loving this. 582,000 off of almost 12 million. That gives us 11.2 million in stockholder equity. You know, I hate positioning myself in companies that aren't making money because normally they don't have any equity and you're holding a bag as soon as you get into it. Who the heck wants that? These companies have already got equity. They are holding lots of properties, right? Whether they're mining or not, they've got assets. All that property is an asset. What do we got over here for filings? Nothing since 2010. That's weird. And of course, all their financials are up. News, I don't know. Let me see here. The 22nd, Surge announces highest grade lithium clay resource in the USA with 4.67, whatever these numbers are, at 2.83 parts per million. All right, I was learning this stuff at 3.1. All right, what was it? Was it 1.6? It seems to me 1.6 was supposed to be the gold level. 1.6. And here they're talking 2.8. So it sounds very rich to me. And I got to tell you, that is something Surge has been doing over and over and over again, is they keep coming back with these assays, these reports of the richest lithium resources that they found in the United States. It is so potent. It is so concentrated. So again, when this company can get their claws into that stuff and start pulling it out, they're going to be making some good revenues. So it's a good company to keep your eye on. They've got assets. They've got equity. They're just not making any revenues. But they've got a lot of land in Nevada that is rich in lithium. Any other news here? Surge Battery Metals recognized as a top 50 TSX Venture Exchange company. Well, how about that? The TSX is the equivalent of the OTC, but over in Canada. It doesn't have a lot of love going for it either. And what's this? Increasing production of EV manufacturing globally, positively influencing growth of lithium market. No duh. Yeah, the bottom line is we need more lithium. The EV market is growing. Power banks are growing, and we need lithium for that. We need lithium for a lot of new things, and we still need it for all of the old things, but we're not getting any more yet. And where we were getting it from, like China, we're not getting any of that anymore. I'm sure we're still getting it from South America, but that's not what the plan was. We wanted to become self-reliant. When are we going to do it? All right, let's take a look now at the chart for ticker NILIF.
Whoops, had the wrong one. Sorry about that.
No
there we go.
necessary.
Okay, so this is probably from the last 9 or so months. I'm looking at the daily chart. One thing that I noticing that stands out, we've got this nice level of support here. It's happened several times, and we're just above that right now. So I like that. That's at about 35, 36 cents. So whenever we had this big spike in volume, I should have asked you if there was something from like late December last year, because we had this nice spike in volume that brought us way up above all these EMAs here. So right now we're like right above the 9, we're above the 21, and we hit the 50 today, and we're a little bit below that, but we are above that support line, which I like. So this does have some potential here. And this last run that we had in like last fall, it ran all the way up to 115. So that is pretty incredible. I'm not sure what was going on here, but that is just a really nice climb.
And when did that start?
That started like late August of 2023 and ran through the whole end of the next month, September 2023, all the way up to 115. And then we had another recent one, the end of December, ran all the way up to like 61 cents. So yeah, it is a lower high, but we did have a nice little run. So that would have been a nice trade over a period of either 1 to 3 days, or even, a couple weeks here.
That's when the August one is September and August. They came out with super high lithium concentration reports.
Oh, is that what it was? Now, see,
yeah, really high.
We dropped this down to the 1 hour, and you can see we are on a nice little run now, and we did get above that support that I was looking at from the daily chart. And then we've got these higher highs. So we did come a little bit back down, but I can definitely see this continuing. I'm not sure if it'll run all the way up to $1, but
the 200 is now starting to go flat. She's pulling it up.
Yeah.
I'd watch for a dip. I don't want to see the rest of that letter M come into the picture.
Right.
I don't want to see that. An M for murder, you normally see it fall real hard. A W, it normally climbs at the end. So hopefully she just keeps pushing. It's looking nice.
Yeah. Unless we do come down to that support, that would be a nice place to pick up some more if you're interested in this. I do like that.
That's being realistic. I think that support and the 50-day SMA, I think that's what we should look for, is a drop down to the 50 and that support, in my opinion.
Well, they're less than a penny apart, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way to look at it. So that's right around 35, 36 cents. So I like this area here. Any farther below that, probably would get out, but I do like this overall. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. Yeah, see, we're starting that M, like you were saying. It could come, but see, look, it's been touching the 200 a few times. It was a resistance here, and now it's support. So
and that's good because it's not even really dipping; it's just bouncing.
Yeah, so it's come down a few times, and now it's on its way back up. All of these are. We're a little bit below them.
She's looking like she's worthy of your watch list. This is a stock. If you're looking at lithium mines, I like this company. They're in a hot zone. They've got a lot of property. They've got great essays. I mean, they're finding the gold, if you will. So it is a good one, and they've got equity. So right now might be a good time to do some more due diligence if you're looking for lithium companies. I like this one, and the chart looks like it could be in a trend change.
Yep, like that one. Okay, we got a lot to do. So next,
Understood. Amen to that.
I am just trying to move on.
It's what we got to do. All right. You got me up. Good girl. All right. We are now looking at PBLA, Panbella Therapeutics. Panbella finished today at $1.18. She was down almost 1%. This is a penny stock on the major exchange. This is a biotech company. Panbella Therapeutics is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company developing disruptive therapeutics for urgent, unmet medical needs. Hopefully, we'll get some more information when we look at the news. So let's just get that general information first. All right, our relative volume, holy cow.
What the heck?
That's like a 75% drop, going from 1.2 million to 358,000. Share structure in PBLA. Oh, come on now. All right, I'm sure I did some homework here. It says our outstanding share count is less than 500,000. Not on the NASDAQ. No, you can't have a float under 1 million. So there's no way you got an outstanding share count of 500,000. So the first thing you got to do is start jumping into filings. And I'm sure I did that here. Yes, jumped into the most recent financial. This one, let's see if I can get a date here, September 30th, 2023. And you come down here and they break stuff down. But here, if you can't find it down in all the words down at the bottom, it can be tricky down there. You can normally find it right here in the liabilities. They list their stockholder deficits and assets through shares as well. And they tell us here the common stock as of September 30th, 2023, outstanding was 2.9 million. Now, a year ago in 2022, it was only 34,000. So it really was low at one time. The outstanding share count in 2022 was 34,000. Right now, we are at 3 million. See what else we got over here? Market cap. Well, if they're taking this number and multiplying it times that to get that number, which is what it looks like, that ain't right. Your market cap is figured out by taking your outstanding shares and multiplying it times the price. So we got 3 million shares. Then we've got 3 million times that. So we've got about 3.5, 3.4 million in our market cap, if that matters to you. Taking a look at the financials for PBLA. No, nothing on the annual. Nothing on the quarterly. We got nobody making money. All right, we got a balance sheet, though. We have 900,000 in the bank for the company. They've got 10.5 million in assets. More liabilities than assets, 13.1. So we are holding some deficit here. The investors are carrying $2.4 million of deficit for this company. I'm surprised to see the price that high. But there are other factors involved than just that. So I don't know everything about the company. That's what a deep dive is for.
We got some reverse splits. That's the issue.
Let me see here. Yes, I got notes. I'm glad you brought that up. I think we had 2 reverse splits here.
3.
One January of 2022 was a 1 in 35. Then they did another one this year in January of a 1 in 30. So we ended up with a small float, and that's 2 reverse splits in 2 years. I'm not happy about that. It's not as bad as Mullen's 3 reverse splits in 1 year, but it isn't good. Let me see. We got an 8K here. Let me see what our news is. Yeah, okay, let's jump into that 8K. See if there's anything there we needed. Right here, it'll tell you what it's about. Regulations. Panbella regains compliance with NASDAQ listing standards for 2 things they were out of compliance for. Bid price, they were under $1. That's why they did the reverse split, get the price up over $1. And publicly held share requirements. Well, this probably has to do with how many shares they had on the market. I told you, you can't have less than 1 million shares in the float. And it looked like they did. Looked like they had 500,000 outstanding. So It's easy. You either do a reverse split or you do a public offering. You just put more shares on the market. Well, reverse split wouldn't do that. That puts them in the authorized. So by putting a public offering out there, which I'm sure if we look around, we'd probably see a public offering here, an effect right there on the 29th. An effect is just blink. It's the gun shooting. Bing. You asked to sell shares in the open market. Bing. Effect says it's happening. It's happening right now. So anytime you see S1s, 426s, when you see the effect, all those have gone live. We got an investor here, a 13G, SC13G, and an SC13D are always good news. These are new investors coming in, big investors. So big, they're now part owners. But there's a difference. A 13D is a silent investor. He's just putting his money in the company and walking away, just like investors do. A 13G is an active owner. He wants to be in the game. He wants to be making decisions. This is a decision maker here. This person has come in. Who are they? Lind Global Fund. We see them a lot. It's a hedge funds, I think. I don't know what this is about. It's stating 0. Normally when you see an A behind one of these forms, it means it's been amended. Something had to be changed in it. So you've got to go further back and find the original 13K or whatever it was. So somewhere back there. But that's our lesson on that. Another 8K here, quick and tidy. Departure of directors, officers, stuff like that. Some sort of management change. And one more for this month. Disclosures. What do we got here? Panama announces closing of $9 million public offering. So they just got $9 million. They also just put a bunch more shares on the market, right? Probably, well, I don't know what it works out to, but now they're all good. So we don't know what the float is, but we do know it's going to be no higher than 2.9 million, 3 million shares. So we've got a low float. There is no doubt that. Let's see what we have. Did I get everything else for us here? I think I did. I've got this ain't a way I follow. When I don't go that way, I never know what I did. Yeah, we covered everything except the chart, which is not my territory. Taylor.
Okay, hang on. I've got 2 different ones up. I'm going to show you this real quick. So if you're looking at this, especially on TradingView or something like that, please don't look at this from a few months ago and say, oh, the price was at 478. That is not accurate because look what we got.
Adjusted the charts on this.
Yeah, we got January 2023, 1 for 40. June 2023, 1 for 30, and then just recently, January 2024, 1 for 20. So this is a lot of stock splits.
Another one?
Reverse splits. Yeah, we've got 3 within the last 13 months. It's crazy.
Wow, I did not know we had a third one.
Yeah, and I glanced at it on a different platform, and I saw that if you look at that one, it's crazy because it looks like it IPO'd at 228,000. So that is completely inaccurate. So please keep that in mind. So let me show you this.
They'd see that too and say, we can't leave that up there. That just ain't
doesn't
right.
make any sense. So please make sure you know that because that's not an accurate price. So right now,
for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, when you do a reverse split, a 1 in 20, you get a big green bar because they kicked the price up from 10 cents to $2. Boom. Well, now what they're doing is giving you a little jump, and everything behind the reverse split is multiplied by that ratio. So if it was 20, the high bubble is multiplied by 20. Everything is multiplied by 20. And if they did a 30 reverse split, it's 20 and 30 multiplying. And it's now you got.
And we have a 1 in 40. So then, it's exponential at this point. So it looks like it was at 228,000. That is not accurate. So please,
I hate
keep
that.
It
Who decided that was the way to do it? What's
it
wrong?
It doesn't make any sense. Bar? They just adjust it. So anyway, here's what we're looking at now. I mean,
really, we don't have any chart except from January 20th was the last split. We can trust it from there.
From here. So that's why I'm zooming into the 4-hour. I mean, we've got the low of like 106. We've got a recent high of 149. And it's just been kind of like in the middle of that. I don't really see much. We don't have a 200. It's way up here, which is ridiculous because, it's adjusting for these
Yeah,
stock
yeah.
splits, so it
Yep.
doesn't make any sense.
Just put that on the other side of the Chinese firewall. It
Yeah,
doesn't
so
make
just
any sense. We're not even going to look at it.
yeah, so, we do see a little bit, like, from this is the 1 hour now. So from last Friday up until this coming into this week, we did kind of come up to
Right?
$1.25. It kind of hit that a couple of different times, 3 different times. And then we came right back down here. So, if it falls below, I would say this right where it is now, we could see like the, 110s, 106, like it was back here. It's going to need some kind of catalyst. You can see these green bars. We had some volume and it got it to move a little bit. Seeing a little bit here, but unless we have like another catalyst, this is not really gonna move too much. But
Well, they've
down on
got,
the
I didn't hit the news up. We didn't talk about the fact that they do have a trial right now for pancreatic cancer. They are making headway on it. They've got 50% enrollment. That was on the 25th of January. And they just gave some presentation on their cancer research. So they are out there. They have trials going on. With these research and development companies, you just got to wait for a piece of news to come out and you get a pop. You get a
Mhm.
nice pop on those news, but because they're clinical research companies, they're normally not making any revenues. So that's all you're living on is those pops of good news. It goes up and comes back down. Then
Mhm.
you wait for the next pop and it could
Right.
pop
Um,
off and on for 8 years.
yeah, but also just based on its history, January, June, January. In June, we might have another reverse split. If we go by the pattern, it's been 140, 130, 120. It might be 1 for 10. I'm just saying, keep that in mind. I hate that stuff. I know you do too, John.
I
So,
do. Yeah,
so
reverse splits are the worst part. I mean, there's a lot
yeah,
of bad things on the OTC, but reverse
yeah.
splits are universal and they do steal your money. Don't let anybody tell you that they're good. You're going to get hurt if you go through a reverse split.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that don't
Other than
look
that,
real good
about
right
it.
there. That's looking
Doesn't
deadly.
doesn't look very good. I mean, yeah, so here's, we're all kind of converging here. That could be a good thing, maybe not. So that's about it for that one. Let's move on to the next. We got a big list today.
Yeah, we do. All right, next one we got is Psych. I know a little bit about Psych because I bought into this, maybe 3 years ago, and I'm down 1,000%. I know it's impossible to be down 1,000%. You can only go down 100%. Well, I got to go 1,000% up to reach the price. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm 1,000% down. This is Psych, ticker PSYC, Psych Corporation. Finished today at 0034. Took a tumble. She went down about 10.5% today. She's on the pink tier, the lowest tier on the OTC. Take all their news with a grain of salt until you see a filing. They are current and they've got their verified information here. So in that regards, they are looking good. So Psych is a company that has been around primarily giving exposure to cannabis and psychedelic drugs, if you will, like High Times Magazine. And they've got all these different medias from print to online. And that's what they've been doing. And it hasn't been doing very well. Not really. They have been falling. Let's see. Let's start with the general information first. Relative volume for the company. Hey, look at that. We got a bounce going from 12 million up to 43 million, over 300% increase. Woohoo! Finally, somebody not falling. Our share structure, not great. 625 million outstanding. At least the insiders own a decent amount, 117 million. That gives us the rest. We get over 500 million shares. God, I don't even want to think about a reverse split. I think we might have some information here about that. We do. I'm glad I brought that up. Market cap, 2.3 million. Financials, are they making money? They are making money. At the end of 2022, they did 124,000. I guess most of their media is online. Doesn't cost you anything. Although you'd think you'd have to pay for your server at least. So they got to keep all of that money. That's a big jump from the year before, 12 times. Quarterly, they're making money here. 1, 2, 3. That's actually $200,000 there. Remembering those 3 zeros, we got to add behind any of these numbers. So they are increasing their revenues right now. It's nothing exciting, but they are. In the bank, they've got 300,000. Total assets, just over $1 million. Total liabilities, 11 million. Woo! We're holding a lot of deficit in this company, folks. A lot. The shareholders are holding $10.3 million in deficit. No wonder I'm down so far. Disclosures for the company. Yeah, we got 213Gs here. I don't recall these. 13Gs are active owners, people that want a say in the company. So we got RB Capital Partners, who got himself 50 million shares, and they now own 8% of the company. And the other one there, that came out on the 14th of the month. This is also RB, and that's almost 10%. All right, got a few pieces of information I want to share here with you. First, let's start over at Twitter. This is really the kicker. I could not find any news. I could not find any filings for what the catalyst was. And I'm glad somebody mentioned it because I would have easily missed it. It was mentioned over here at Twitter. Let me see. Is it the top 2? It is. It's the top 2. Now, on January 5th, the CEO, as you're going to see in the news, came out with a newsletter, a stockholders letter. And it didn't sound good. At this time, we can offer no guarantee as to the survivability of Psych in the weeks and months ahead, only that we are committed to identifying the best and most logical solutions. And it's funny, too, because this bad news came out, and I've noticed that the stock has been rising here recently. I wanted to average it down. I've been holding it a while. I can get 10 times as many shares buying right now. But I saw bad news. They said they didn't even think they were going to survive. Things have turned around in a big
news, John.
What?
When was that bad news?
January 5th.
Okay.
So here on February 28th, we got 2 tweets. Psych, we've decided to take the company in a new direction. Does that mean change of operations? Does that mean they're going to abandon what they're doing with psychedelics and cannabis? I don't know. We don't have any more information than this. Due to a recent opportunity, we've got some new visionary tech personalities joining us to launch some exciting new endeavors. We continue to update you as details become available. On the same day, we had a few inquiries from shareholders based on our last filing. There is no need for a reverse split. Woohoo! Oh, baby! Oh, am I excited. Now I can average down. God dang it. I've gone through 61 reverse splits in the last 2 years, and I've lost over $40,000 in reverse splits. I am sick of it. I am telling you, folks. So now that I see that, one, they're not only not going to do a reverse split, but they have said it a second time for the new incoming company. So that is twice they've told us they're either making an acquisition or they're doing a merger. Now, it sounds like it's a new direction. Sounds like it's going to be a change of operations. That is just a presumption. Sounds like it's going to be involved with tech. Well, they didn't say tech. They said they had tech personalities. These are people. But we're making presumptions here, speculation. And let me tell you what, folks, on the OTC market, speculation runs a stock harder than facts. Buy on the rumor, sell on the news. Just tell me a little bit. Don't tell me too much, and I will make it grandeur in my own mind, and I will just push that stock further than it had any right to go. So this could be a popper. It could be. Let me see what we got over here in news. Psych CEO provides detailed update on the state of the company. That was the last news on the 5th. There's no more news. There's not a hint here. Coming over to the disclosures, we've looked at them.
There's nothing from like last Friday, the 23rd of February.
23rd of February. And when was that last piece of news? No, our last piece of news outside of that was in November. We've only had one piece of news this year, and it was that bad news. Okay. And I did go through it. They say they were looking, but they had no idea at that point, obviously. I mean, something changed between January 5th and February 28th. Thank God. So that's all the information on psych. It is looking exciting. I'm feeling excited. I've got so many dead stocks that have gone to the expert market, fallen off of the market, have done reverse splits, and have been beat up since COVID and the inflation that I am in perilous condition, folks. 130 stocks, and I think 30 of them are still awake and breathing. The rest are either in comas or in their coffins. This is horrific. That is what a bad market can do to you. All right, let's go take a look now at ticker PSYC.
Okay, I can see why everyone's excited about this because we what's going on. So, I mean, you can see this is the 4 hour, so you can see the 200 coming down, and then now, right now, we're starting to flatten totally out. It looks
That's
really
when it breaks.
nice.
When the
So the
parking
reason I
lot
was
is
asking
there.
February 23rd is when this second wave happened. And we started here like at the beginning of February. We moved up, and now we're way up here. So this was I marked this level at like 0027 because it was a resistance from way back, and now we have hit that and come. You know, we obviously surpassed it. We came back down and retested it, and now we're still above it. I like that a lot. I mean, the floor was 0005, and now we're at 0034. So that is pretty nice. Let's look at the 1 hour.
That's over
Okay.
600% run.
Yeah. So you can see on the
I was just
oh,
giggling.
yeah. It looks really nice, right? So on the 1 hour, you can see all these are starting to separate because we had such a fast run. So it's kind of slowed down. This has come over. Whoops. This has come back under that 21. So it's not like still super, super bullish. I think it's just cooling down to maybe make another run because it cooled down a little bit here. So that support is really important. I didn't even drop it down to 1 hour until just now, but so you can see it kind of hung out in that area.
Yep,
That's the
sure
double
did.
zero two
I
seven.
like
So so that's a really good level right there. I like that.
in my videos that big long red spike that came all the way down. To me,
Yeah.
that is a sign it's going to climb and not fall. When I see it come through a strong SMA, this came down through the what is that? The 20? The
This
green
one's
one?
21.
So that came down and went really deep. Think of it as a pillar on a bridge going deep into the ground, into the foundation, so things don't move. You want to study that bridge so you can start to climb. You get
Right.
those that stay down there real brief and come right back up to where they were. You normally
Yep.
get a strong surge off of that. And that is what looks like setting up. And your technicals look good too. Your
Yep.
oscillators.
Yeah, they do. So this high was 0044. Hit it twice, so I don't necessarily think that's a double top because some of this was like pre-market. I think it does
Yeah.
trade pre-market, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I do like this level of 0027. I mean, came right above it, support several times here, and then recently here. And yeah, this looks really good. Lots of green. All these are starting to separate, and we're way
Now,
above the 200 now in the 1 hour.
my red flag would be to watch for a dip down to the 50, down to her yellow line. I would watch for that because it is a strong SMA. But I normally find when you fall down to a stronger SMA, you get a bigger bounce. It's a stronger board to bounce off of,
Right, and
especially
I
when the
wouldn't.
stock's got
Yeah,
momentum.
I think it would be nice if it did because it's sitting right now currently on the 1 hour. It's sitting at 0026, and the support line is at 0027. So that's right about where I had it. So I like that level
How's
there.
our
And
5-minute look for tomorrow?
5 minute, yeah. And here's the 5 minute, and you see this 200 is
Oh, yeah.
here.
Lots of
'Cause we
respect.
had, because of this big run, you can see this large separation. Now we're coming back to it, so it could definitely just keep bouncing, just keep following it up all the way back up to that
Yeah,
high.
this is
So
really nice. I do like that chart. I
I
do
like it
like
a lot
the
too.
speculation. I do
Mhm.
like the fact that it came through Twitter because that gives room for a press release to still come out. Not everybody goes to Twitter for their news. Lots of people don't even have a clue what's going on. And then the
Mhm.
press release will come out and you'll have a whole new crowd get excited and this thing will start running again. So I'm excited. I'm going to average down now. No reverse split. Keep that in
Right.
mind, folks. It's in print. Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, I like this one. Let's go on to the next one.
We may, we can. Yes, yes. We are looking at ticker ZVSA, Zyversa Therapeutics. I do believe I posted news on this. I do believe she's had some activity this last week because the ticker's been in my mind a few times. So this finished the day at $1.10, up 10% today. She went up 10 cents. 110, 10%, 10 cents. I see a theme here. This is a penny stock on the NASDAQ. Got ourselves another biotech. Zyversa is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company developing and commercializing products for the treatment of renal and inflammatory diseases. Whew. Guys gave me hard stocks this week. Oil, mining, biotechs. Urgh. So what do I know about this company? Well, let's start with the easy information first. Relative volume, are we up or down today? Yeah, down a little bit. We went from 4.5 million down to 3.9 million today. Share structure, oh, wow. Now, I didn't check this out. I don't believe I did. That's not that. That's not. Nope. I did not go in. So I'm thinking, I presume this is accurate. You may want to go into the financials. I showed you where you can look to find it real easy without having to go through the whole thing. Just go to assets and liabilities. The stock will be listed there. They tell us we got 1.2 million outstanding. Can't have less than $1 million on the float. So I'm going to presume that our float is $1 million at the least and no higher than 1.2 million. Wow. And our market cap is just about the same since you multiply it times the price. We're at 1.2 million. Financials for ZVSA. Is this R&D making any money? No. They have to spend money. R&Ds are constantly spending money. They ain't got nothing to make money on. So where do they get that from? Big investors or us? Little investors, public offerings. Always worried about that with R&Ds. Assets. Money in the bank, we got 1.5 million. Total assets, 32 million, closer to 33. Hey, liabilities is only 13. We got positive stockholder equity in a company that's not making any revenues, has never made any revenues. They've got equity for us, almost $20 million. How about that? Disclosures for ZVSA. We got another investor, a G. Let's check out this one since it don't have the A on it. All right, this is Anson Funds. They got themselves 160,000 shares, and they now own 10% of the company. And they're an active owner now in the company. S8. S8, normally talking about shares or a meeting or something. Let's see, statement of required section, registered statement for shares. Uh-oh, reflect. No, all right, I seen the word reverse split here, right there. You can always go through any filing and just use your search and put in reverse split or consolidation, because I know you want to know that. Before you get into a company, always do a search on their filings, especially the shareholder meetings. Go to Google and see when their last shareholder meeting was and go through it. See if they voted on a reverse split and approved it. If they did, there's no reason to tell you they're going to do it when they do it. And you may get into the company today and 1 week from now they do a reverse split and you had no clue because they voted on it 10 months ago. So do your homework, folks. Use that search bar for consolidation or reverse split. This looks like they're putting more shares on the market or something. I don't know, but it doesn't look like anything. It's not a reverse split. I can tell you that much. They're just saying in case of a reverse split, this will be affected as well.
Just so you know, there was a reverse split in December.
In December?
Yeah.
And, okay. And that came out in February. So
okay.
What was that reverse split in? Oh, right. You told me about that.
December 5th. Yeah.
And how big was it? 1 in 35?
35. Yep.
35. Okay. So looking at that share structure, that's how it got to be so low. So yeah. It just got there. Take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. We already looked at that. Yeah, we did. All right. We got some news here. Yes. Zyversa Therapeutics publishes new white paper detailing the role of inflammasomes and ASC specs in neurological diseases. All right. This is deep stuff, folks. And, you know, I have to actually read more than I ever want to read just to explain what the heck it is they're talking about here. what I have gathered from what I've read here, and I'm glad I read it twice because I would have explained it wrong the first way. This article summarizes data demonstrating that inflammasome activation in fat tissue triggers cell death known as pyrotosis. This is a bad thing. It starts killing cells. A certain type of swelling up, inflammatory conditions cause all sorts of problems with diabetes and other sort of things that happen to people who are obese. They have found this drug that helps fight, and it is with the cytokine, the T cells. It is the same exact thing. The T cell gets overexcited and starts overpopulating and causing problems. And they've created a drug that kicks this out of gear before it even starts. And that's the drug that they're working on. Whew. Hope I did a decent job with that. And then our last piece of news, Versa Therapeutics generated approximately $2.7 million from the exercise of warrants. Now, when warrants are cashed in, these are warrants, they say, on February 26, 2024, the company generated $2.7 million from existing investors exercising previously issued warrants. Warrants you buy sometime in the back so that you can make money later in the future. These are coupons. You're just buying coupons. That's what a warrant is. And it says, oh, sometime in 3 to 5 years, you can come back here and you can buy a share for 80 cents. At 50 cents, they go live. You can buy them for 80 cents. Well, it's 50 cents. I'm not going to use it yet. Good. 3 years from now, it's up to $4. You can go buy a share for 80 cents, even though it's $4. Well, as soon as you do that, you created a new share. Well, that was the first thing I was looking for here. 2.7 million. I don't know how many shares that is, and they don't tell us. And that gets added to the float. That gets added to the outstanding share count. We don't know what that is. But there's an important piece of information here. The catalyst was from somewhere else. If this stock was moving, it came from somewhere else. This was following the excitement around news issued by NodThera on February 19th that their drug, their inflammasome inhibitors, have potential to treat obesity with weight loss efficacy similar to GLP-1 receptor agonists, which is called Wegovy. I've been reading a lot about Wegovy here recently. It's a weight
And
loss.
all that came out within the last week?
February 29th.
Oh, today. Okay.
Yeah, this came out today.
Okay.
But with added, this news became viral among financial reporters, driving high volume trading and increased stock prices for companies developing other inflammasome inhibitors, which is what this company has got right here. So there is competition. There's other companies trying to work on these sort of drugs. So this is good news and bad news. Their competitors are making headway as well. And that's the big deal. You go through these drug trials. Trial one is to see if you're safe. Does your drug going to kill? Is it going to give chronic diarrhea? What's your drug do to a person? Second, does it work as well as you say it does for what it's supposed to do? That's trial two, and that can take up to 3 years. Trial three is putting you up against the competitors. Other drugs that do the same thing. Who's the best? That's the one they give the blue ribbon to. And if you don't meet up, you don't meet up. Second best doesn't cut it. They want a better drug. And that can take up to 5 years, depending on how many competitors there are. Well, we see competitors here. And I'm not quite sure how far along they are with their things. Let's see if they say over here. Sometimes in the news, you can see phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Nope. I don't see anything there about that. So some more research is necessary here, but they do have drugs in the pipeline. And that's what you got to dive into. Dive into their pipeline. And chances are, if you go on over to their website, the website's going to be right here. You can always find it on these pages. Go over there, and you can normally find under the investors area, you'll find a button for a presentation. And you can just click that presentation, and they will tell you everything in real simple terms. I'm not sure they have one here. Most of them do. In either case, that's all the information we got for ZVSA, except for the chart. So let's take a look at that.
Oh, hang on. I've got two different ones here. Whoops.
Two different ZSVAs?
Oh, no. Sorry, I have two different things I wanted to show. That's why. Okay. So I'm just going to show this real quick just because I want to show you what a stock split does when you've already charted something. We looked at this on the 21st of September, and I obviously was shading something. It must have been a stock or a gap down or something. But look what happened. So we had this split in December, and so all this is completely messed up, all of these levels. So none of this makes any
I
sense anymore.
see. Right. So you drew your gray bar in existing
Yes,
bars. The price was there before the split when
yes,
the chart was legitimate. Now
yes.
that they've adjusted the chart and it's BS, you still have the appropriate
Yeah,
buy
so
section.
that's what I want to illustrate. So if you're making charts and or you're drawing stuff on your charts, you're drawing shaded boxes, you're drawing levels, it completely messes the whole thing up. See, this makes no sense, just a random bar here. That was already there. So you can tell this is so frustrating because look what we have here, 1 for 35. So when you look back and say, "Oh, well, it was trading at $8 in August or September." It was not because it was down here. So
That's horrible.
it's crazy. So I was just looking at that. Let me go
But
back
you
to
can
this
see
one.
that the price has come right into that zone, which you identified before they moved the chart.
Yeah, so none of that made any sense. So here's what we're looking at now.
Wow.
Everything from here on is legit. So forget these because that doesn't make any sense. I drew this one now because it was kind of consolidating or doing something. This is the 4 hour, by the way. And this is like maybe the first few weeks of February. So this is why I was asking. This is this week. So we had a big spike up to the $2.40 area. And now it kind of looks like a bull flag. You can see that here, and then it's just, a little triangle here. So that's why I was asking if something had come out this week, because this is from the 26th. This was just a few days ago, 3 days ago. All right.
Right.
So yeah, it jumped up from like 60 cents all the way up to 240 or 250, sorry. And now we're back down to the 109. So I guess it's trying to just stay above a dollar, and here we are. So let's drop it down to the 1 hour. You can see what.
Basically, it's been those two publishes, those white papers that the company brought out. Those both came out in that period.
Yeah, so whatever happened here, that's when that big spike, I mean, we had a run from like this 50, 60 cents area all up to a dollar. This had
Now,
nothing to
what
do
was
with the
that chart
split.
you were just on? Was that the 4 hour with
This
the
one,
full
four
flag?
hour.
See, now I like the way she's laying on that 20. You go down to that other chart you were just on, she's dangling in the air, looking like
This
she's
is the
about ready
one
to
hour.
fall. Yeah, see
This
there,
is
she
the
looks
one
like she's
hour.
just dangling. The 1 hour, she's just sitting there trying to break out. Where on your 4 hour, she's firmly sitting on a nice support there, getting ready to jump. You can see her sitting there on that 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful. That the 1 hour chart, that's why I
Yeah.
like to look at other charts because
Yeah, I
what
do
look
too.
weak in one chart could actually be a strength if you're looking at a different chart.
Hey, this is a really nice bull flag here. So I like the way this is looking here for the 4 hour. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why these are still here, I guess, because that other, yeah. So this is what we're looking at. We pumped up. This is all from this week. And then now we're just kind of here in this area. So I expect this to either break out this way or this way, hopefully up if someone's in this already.
Well, we've got our 50-day just about ready to cross to 200.
Yes.
200 is starting to level off, which is all the
Hmm.
symptoms you're looking for a strong breakout. So
Yeah.
bull flag, crossover, a golden cross, a leveling out of the 200. And did we have, well, we've got good news. I'm not going to call it catalyst. And the company's got $2.7 million to work with now. So you don't have to worry
Hmm.
about a public offering.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So that's about it. Hopefully there will be not another reverse split because that ruined everything, including what I had set up because we looked at this a few months ago. So that's about it for that. Looks
All
pretty
right.
good though. I like it.
It looks like a seahorse, a dragon. All right. We're going to look at our old friend and pet. We come by here weekly to look at Toner.
Oh yeah.
Toner is a friend. Toner keeps coming out with news every week, though. At least we can say that. We're watching a stock that is worthy of watching, though she hasn't really taken off yet. She's still in the 000 zone. Ticker TONR. Toner One World Holdings finished today at 0008. She was up over 14% today. She too is on the pink tier and current, got all of her validated information, and she has been designated shell risk. which means she's in business doing something, but she's not reporting revenues, which isn't a good thing. It's never a good thing. Is it true, though? Well, let's take a look at her financials real quick. Got nothing annually. Well, where'd that come from? We got $16,000 here at the beginning of the year, but that's it. Nothing else to show. Wow. I think we go through this every time. There's nothing up there. And this is the one that confuses me because the quarter before we were 10 million down. It's the same exact number. They now tell us we're 10 million up. So I don't get any of that. So, let's get over to why we talk about this one. This is the one that came out with the AI trading assistant called Maddie. Maddie was being used on MetaTrader, TD Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, and a few other places. And then we read news last week that they're now going to start using Maddie in other areas so that she can order food for you through Uber, Amazon, so that she can do other things. Now, they said the primary reason for this was not to expand business and look for more sectors, but to give Maddie more experience, to start working with people and get more knowledge so that she could become better. Well, they came out with news today which doesn't talk about Maddie. And I wonder if this is an updated version of Maddie already, because I told you, Maddie was growing fast as AI does. Well, this came out today. They said that the company is thrilled to announce the highly anticipated national Zoom presentation of the groundbreaking TradeScore Extreme Trading Robot hosted by Toner One. This is going to be on March 12th at 7 p.m. You can find the link right here in the news press if you want to see this. And you probably should, folks. This is cusp. This is new. This is where trading is going. It's probably going to be expensive. It always is in the beginning. LED TVs, a 19-inch was $3,000 when they first came out. Now you can buy a 90-inch for $300. I mean, it's getting crazy. So this is probably where we're heading, and everybody at some point in time will have an AI assistant trader helping them. You're just going to need it. So you want the education as soon as you can get it, and it's free. They're going to give it to you here. So I would watch it just for that. They tell us to get ready to witness a game-changing event as we unveil the TradeScore Extreme Trading Robot, a revolutionary leap forward in algorithmic trading technology. We're not just talking about somebody who's gathering information. We're talking about algorithmic trading here. I've got a friend on Twitter. He's always posting algorithmic alerts. These are algorithms that find pressure hidden away behind the scene and say, you can't see it, but we can see it boiling underneath. You want to get into this before it rips. And he keeps bringing up these stocks that are ripped once, came back down, are down at $3. He says this, we just got a report on, says it's going to 11 or 12. And it's down there at $3. And darn, if in 24 or 48 hours, it ain't hit that mark. So algorithmic trading is no BS. There's no doubt about that. The TradeScore Extreme Trading Robot is powered by cutting-edge machine learning technology. This innovative platform is set to redefine the landscape of algorithmic trading, offering traders unprecedented insights and opportunities to thrive in today's dynamic financial fields. So that's what has got people excited, and they just keep adding more news. And as far as I'm concerned, she's growing at an exponential rate. We're looking at this weekly. We saw her when she was just a trading assistant. Then we saw her when now she can do more. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is the next improved version of Maddie, but it could be something completely different. But that's what's got everybody excited right now. The share structure on the company is exceedingly high. We got what?
Oh, nothing. Forget it.
We got 7 billion. She saw it at 7 billion. She dropped her jaw. That's what we heard.
No, it wasn't that.
7 billion shares outstanding. Insiders only own a measly 23 million of them. We got virtually 7 billion there. Market cap is up at 5 million, and that's because we got so many shares here because the price is super duper low. What was the volume on the stock today? Less than 50% of what she's normally doing, dropping from 174 million down to 70 million. And I believe that's really all we need to look at here. The rest we've looked at, and I think I pretty much covered everything. So let's take a look at the chart for toner. Let's see how she reacted to the
Oh
news.
yeah, this is my favorite one because I love talking about what it did. So for months and months and months and months, it was between this 0001 and 0002. I mean, just months and months.
A
So then we
sidewalk.
started looking at it. So all these arrows are just the days we looked at it because we've looked at it 7 times in the last 2.5 months, including 3 this month alone. So yeah, so I will be really upset if this does a reverse split because it'll mess all this up. I've been working on this for so long. Okay, so started looking at it here. We came up to this 0003, and so Wiz just been stair stepping up. Then it got all the way up to 0015 from 0001. That is crazy. All right. So since we looked at it last, which was on the 22nd, it has just come down like it hit 001, which is where I'd like to see it above. It's hit it a few times. It's been above,
Yeah.
these few days, and it came above here. Now we're back down to like 0007. So as long as see, when it started coming up the first time, like this big massive run from 0003 over to 0007, that's more than 100%. It has been kind of around there until we came here and then down to that. Now, if you had a buy order open for 0002, that would have been amazing because that happened on the
There
16th.
you go again. There's a perfect example of a
Yep.
pillar. That
Yeah.
came down from all the way to the top through the 50, through the 200.
To the 200.
Then came back up and you get a jump. That
Yeah.
steadied everything so she could then pull off. And now it looks like she's just coming back down to the 50 and settling
Right.
down. She took a big dip, a big rip. Now let's settle down and start working again. She's looking pretty good, actually.
It is. Yeah, it has really held this nicely, or at this 0007 level. I mean, it did come down here. And I don't know the dynamics of that. I would have to look, down to the 1 hour when it did. So it looks like that was that might have been in, it looks like pre-market hours. Okay. So that happened. You would have had to have an open buy order if you weren't, I don't believe you can trade pre-market. Am I wrong about that?
On the OTC, we cannot. Nope.
Right. So no one would have probably gotten in that. I mean, it looked like it opened.
No, it's just become a token signal to watch for a bounce afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you had an open buy order, that would have been nice. But so yeah, if we go back, I mean, it has been just holding this. So we're still in that area.
Promising, definitely. And let's face it, she's got a hell of a catalyst here. Who is her competitor? Who else has got a trading assistant for us? We've heard a lot about algorithms and AI for the big corporations, and darn well they're using them. That's who you're trading against nowadays. You're not trading against people in these hedge funds. They got AI. So it would be worth the education just to watch. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I love watching this one. This has been one that we look at all the time. I love looking at it just to see where it's going. I mean, yeah, this kind of does look like a Head and Shoulders a little bit, but it is holding this, so that's promising. So I would like to see above that 001. I think that's your signal to buy in when it hits that 001. I know you love that level.
I love 001. The profit margin is great. 100% at 002.
Right. And 50% was right here when it did hit that 0015, and we did hit it. So I mean, this is definitely one that I've been watching. We've all been watching it. So yeah, keep an eye on this one.
All right, Taylor, we need you to do a specialty for us. We forgot to jump in the middle there and take care of the Mr. Roy L. Fuchs. He wanted to look at Lou.
Oh,
Lou
yeah.
was that not a penny stock. It is a $40 stock, and I have put not Lou. Well, I have put Lou off. I've put Roy off 3 weeks in a row. Now, it's not a penny stock, and I am in all my rights. But Lou, you've been so polite and so diligent and persistent. I'm going to let Taylor take a look at the chart for you. I'm not going to go through the information because it seems to me you were worried last week about where the chart was going. So I'm going to put this in Taylor's hands.
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit a minute ago. So I identified this little area that kind of was like a support resistance. It was support there for a while and would come back up, come back down. But unfortunately, looks like the second week of February, it blew through that, and it blew through the 200, and now we're below all of these, and we've got a death cross here, and a death cross here, and one here, and one or two here. That does not look good to me if you see this on the daily chart. It's just been falling. So it was in this like 47, 48 area. It would bounce off of this, come back up into the 50s. But since then, if it's, we did hit this here and here. Another thing I looked at is if you look at the daily chart, like this one, it does react to earnings. Okay, they had really good earnings back in August, and we had a run here. The earnings were good here, except for the revenue. Earnings were good, revenue was bad. And if you look closely, that must have been reported after hours because the very next day we opened here and then closed within that area. Now it did come back up, but it is reactive to the earnings. Like here is another one.
Yeah,
It
we
was
just
good
had
earnings.
We just had good earnings.
Right,
Which
but
is
here's
why I'm
what
trying to
happened
figure
there.
out why it fell. I was looking
Yeah,
at it and everything looks good.
yeah, so the earnings were good. They might have had some kind of bad forward guidance or something because obviously this is excellent. These are green numbers. So
Yeah.
so it opened higher. It opened at 53 that day, and then I believe this is regular
Wow.
candles. So and then
Yeah,
it
it says
came all
that
the way.
they beat their guidance by 32 million. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
they blew it away
revenue.
and the stock still fell. This
Yeah.
stuff doesn't make sense to me.
Well, here's what happened, John. It opened at 53 the next day and then closed at 45. So it was just completely red, but it opened much higher. So you see that that's what a red candle is, guys. It opens here, closes here. All right.
You know, it was a year before I knew that.
Well, some people don't know it, and it's
No,
okay
you
to
read the
say it. I
top.
mean,
You think you read the tops of all of them. No, you read the bottom of the red, the top of the green.
right. So it opened really high because it was like, oh, that's good earnings. Must have reported
Oh,
after
yeah.
hours. Yeah, looked like it
Why
did.
did it continue falling?
And then it continued to fall. I don't know the reason. I didn't do a lot of research on this. I just
I
looked at
didn't
the
either.
chart.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
either.
so it has fallen again since that opening after earnings at 53. It has gone all the way down to $40. It didn't go below. Well, it kind of, let's say, right at 40 is when it like opened to close this week. We touched the 9. I think that might be maybe decent. I mean, I don't want to say I hate this or love this because I know someone's probably invested in this. I know. Let me look. Let's see. So, I mean, oh my gosh, I hate when they're like this. Yeah. Eh, I
And
don't love this right now.
today there was a Form 4 filed. You had an insider. The chief marketing officer sold 16,000 shares.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
he now has 0 shares. He sold every share he owns.
Oh, wow.
That isn't a good sign. I don't
No,
know. I mean, there may have been a death in the family and he's got to move. I don't know. There
yeah,
could
we
be a
don't know.
legitimate reason for it, but that is something that happened today.
If you turn on Heikenashi's, it's even scarier. So let's just look at the real candles. Sorry. No, I mean, just this will get, if you're looking at like a blue chip stock, look at the regular candles because, this one is telling you the real story. It opened here and closed here.
True, true.
Um, you know,
Haikinashi really aren't great for that.
right. So this is telling you, so my point is, I guess with all that is it does react to earnings. So the next one is coming up in May. I don't know how invested someone is. I'm not,
Yeah, it
I'm
reacts to earnings, but does it react righteously? I mean, I'm still waiting for it to bounce back. I just glanced through them, but all the numbers I looked at was beat, higher,
yeah.
exceeded. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
for
all of
God's
these,
sake,
I
why
mean,
would,
except for this one back in November
well, no, I'm just
2022.
talking about the current one.
Oh yeah,
Just the
all
current
of
one.
them.
There's
Yeah.
no reason
Here.
for it to be falling when everything is good. So obviously, as you said, there's something in there about the future that isn't as bright as people wanted.
Yeah, it must have been the forward guidance or something, because
Yeah.
it's just completely fallen. But if it were to bounce, it would have to do it right now because we're
Yep.
in this area where it was, back in August. So
Yep.
this is the area where if it's going to bounce, it really, really needs to now. Because if it goes below 40, we could see 35. See that?
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree. She's at that point now where if she doesn't bounce, there's a gap. She's going to
Oh
fall.
yeah, this is so if it doesn't bounce here, we could definitely see this like 35 area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing there. But obviously do your due diligence about the news and what's going on with the company internally and all that because I don't know that. I'm just looking technically what's going on. So that's about it for that one. Hopefully that helped.
Yeah, Roy, just to let you know, we are thinking about you. We are penny stocks, but we're people too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are at 5:30. And who came in late? Well, Underdog was our last one. Boy, LT's been talking her butt off here.
Sorry about that. I was trying to reply to everybody.
You're a good girl. Jay Pang, you got lots of conversation here, and I don't get a chance to read all of these while I'm doing all my gabbing, folks. So once the show is over, I'd read them, but we actually talk about a lot of these afterwards.
Oh yeah, we talk about everyone afterwards.
Yeah, we do. We get into these. Mike Porter, good to see you here. Perma Bull. Gotta love a name like Perma Bull.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, let's see. Bold 10. Glad to have you stopping in. Late, but not too late. S Veg Veg. Oh, and he wanted to look at SHMN. Veg and Shem. Schmoons. Is that mushroom business, I think. I'm glad to see these new stocks in here. If you came in late, folks, well, you weren't late. You were on time. I can only look at so many stocks in the time we have. And I actually put this placeholder up for the video early. And people put in tickers early. And I look at them first come, first serve. So the truth of the matter is, and I know it's horrible, but if you're putting in tickers while the show's going on, I never get to them. We can't get to more than about 8, maybe 9 tickers in the time that we're here. And that is about all that I get before 4 o'clock. So a word to you. I put this up early, 10, 11, 12 in the morning on Thursdays. You can drop your ticker in then. You can either go to Twitter, go to my account. I've got a link there that goes straight to my Stock Wizards account on YouTube. If you know how to get to it, just go to it on YouTube. Pull up the video. There will be a placeholder there waiting for me, and you can put your comment in, and I'll see it, and I'll get all the due diligence done before the show even starts, and I'll give you more value for your money. I appreciate y'all being here. I thank you for hanging around for longer than we anticipate being here, and if I didn't get to your stock, I do appreciate you being here nonetheless. Honest. And thank you, Taylor. I appreciate you being here even when you're not feeling well.
I'm all right.
Yeah, you look a little green around the frame right now. Thank you, folks. We will see you next week, Thursdays, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, every Thursday, unless it's a holiday. See you then.
Bye.